This is Memory Lapse on Elite. So this quest uh, is not as hard as the prison quest. The prison quest we just skipped and are saving for favorite cleanup. But this quest is also pretty tough, and I think we could probably handle on Reaper. But so far my gut's been pretty good on these quests, and I just think that we probably don't want to do this one on Reaper. Especially on the end fight, there's chances to get mobbed by multiple Reapers. It can be a little bit tough, and there's a lot of respawning type things around this room if you end up moving too far from the center. So I'm going to go with my gut and just do this one on Elite. We're not skipping it, we're running it, and the reason we're not skipping it is that it drops some good loot, and so if we get some of that loot, that would be great.
You're surprised to find yourself in what looks like a vast library, though broken bookcases and scattered papers suggest something has gone very wrong. Perhaps Tara Fenwith can explain what's going on. You need to help Terrence Hawksworth give his speech. Find books in his memory library that will help him deliver his address.
And so this quest is on Elite. The champions are still going to hit hard. I mean, there's still a chance we could. I mean, it's not like there's
Countless
no
books
chance
and
we can.
papers are crammed into every
It's like
corner of
there's
the
there's
dimly
still a
lit
chance we could die in this
stacks.
quest, but I
It would
think
take
it's
some effort
should
to
be
find any
and will be
particular
probably a lot
book in this
easier.
labyrinth of learning.
I know this trap from the past is behind here somewhere, and we can't see it yet. Yeah, you can see these guys are not hitting. This guy's red name, but he's unlike it. Yeah, the other one was giving me double claw for 50 plus damage. This is true seeing. That's the reason why this is just coming through instead of having to search for it. And we do need this. This is a quest objective, actually. You have to do that to get to here. And so, oh, how do we do this, guys? Yes, these guys are doing a double attack, 12-12 instead of around 30-30. So much easier than the last one. All right, now we check this card catalog and we say look up the book Fundamentals of Magic, and he tells us it's in row 4. So now we just look on the floor. This is 9 here, so we just basically follow it around until we find 4. Here's 5, so we're in the right direction, and there it's 3. But let's just get this guy, otherwise we'll end up getting double attacked again. And we got double attacked anyways. But these guys are not too scary. Alright, and this is 3. Interesting. It goes from 5 to 3. So it could be we have to get to 4. We have to get back to where we were. Alright. Let's see. 3, 3, 3. We're back to the beginning. Well, let's try to find 4. Here's 4. So this answers my question of whether true seeing would be enough to find the book. It's not. But our search is really good.
You've found one of the books for the speech.
And that completes this section, and now we just move on. There's basically north, south, east, west. We have to check each wing, and we have a job. We have to find a book in each wing. And the end fight's a little bit tough, but this this part is not. It's just time consuming. All right, these. Whenever you see these, I don't. You want to make sure you leave around the shared memories, because shared memories is what causes the respawn. So as long as shared memories are left, there'll be respawns. Once you get that down, then the stuff will respawn again. So definitely annoying. Alright,
What
and
was once the library's core collection is now
we want to
complete
get a crest
chaos.
for this first,
This is where Vaspar Danville's attack had its greatest effect.
which is over here. And I don't see one of those bookshelves, so I don't think the stuff respawns. But if you ever see one of those like shaking kind of shelves, I mean, it's not absolute necessity that you have to get it. Like here it is. Then you want to get these because they'll just keep causing respawns. And these, I think these books are actually kind of like bats. I mean, they're property constructs, but they sort of have the behavior of bats. And bats can be kind of annoying. But the one thing I'll say is that a cleaving melee, it's probably better able to handle bats than just about any other build, because you don't have to aim. Like ranged, casting's not too bad ranged because they have a lot of AoE, but ranged, it's really a pain to deal with the bats. All right, shelled memories. We could probably just ignore that one now because we're not. Hopefully, we don't have to go back down there again. Let's just use. We got an alert going. That might be because of all that stuff below. See, if we don't get rid of the alert, then this is where we can take care of that. There's several sort of like what I'll call fake books, and you can ignore those. You don't have to get these jumps perfectly, it's pretty forgiving, but it's also pretty easy to just make a mistake. Alright, so now we want to go down here, pull this lever. You can see all that stuff down there, but I don't think it's going to keep respawning. I think it just, the stuff that's there won't go away, and if you kill it, it will keep respawning until that shelf's down. We don't have any kind of alert going on, which is good. Alright, and then we want to go up here, and we're going to need to find another crest here shortly for this socket. You can see that socket, and in this quest, the crests are always sort of after the socket, so I have to backtrack to find it. It's going to ignore it. And really, it's I think this one could also be in different locations, but I seem to always find it there. Alright, so I want to get on this. Alright, shocking idea. So I'm going to just get my electricity. Yeah, my buffs are wearing, but I'm going to grab my electricity. This is what I need this second. And then I'll rebuff later. Guy with my bow, he's knowing me. Alright, now I'm going to do a full rebuff real quick. First, I'm going to see if I can get my hireling to use some spell points back. And hit points. Alright, now I'm going to just real quick buff. You just never know when you might fall down, so I like to always stay buffed just in case. go up that way. We just want to jump off once we get there. It will come back down, so we want to make sure we don't miss our stop. And then this is where you can ignore any books up to this point. I think we saw the quick book. I just ignored that. And we basically want to get this book that's in here. Try to buy all these things. It seems like it's having a hard time killing me. I may have to put my hands in it. I think I want to get this champion. That might be what's really causing most of the problem here. Alright, so then we grab this.
You found one of the books for the speech.
And then, well, we could just hop on here. Basically, we want to go right back where we came. So we're gonna, now we could just feather fall down into this passageway. Go back. If we had DDO, we could do that, but we don't have DDO in this build. Alright, so now we've done north and east. So let's do south. And this one of these crazy bookshelves here. I think if you get this here, it won't show up. I think if you get these here, they won't spawn during the end fight. You can if you move around, spawn this thing during the end fight. It just makes an end fight. So you probably ought to circle around this room and clear out any of these that exist. In case we end up moving around. But I don't know if it comes back in the end fight for sure. I usually just try to avoid moving around in the end fight. Alright, looks like there's nothing else here. So, here's another one of these things. With the back of the books. Yeah, so we have defeated every enemy we've encountered. We haven't left any, as far as I know. Oh, I guess we did leave a few on the floor there. That might be where we got the green alert. Alright, so...
Whatever was in this room originally, it's now dominated by a gigantic tree. And an equally gigantic school teacher.
So this one we just basically progress up. There are some traps. I think the trap boxes are actually after the traps. But we can possibly jump around them. Let's see. Not seeing any traps. I would think my spot would be good enough to find these traps now. I've kind of really did a nice gear upgrade. Okay, you can see there's the traps. Not sensing a trap box. So we are just going to kind of watch the pattern and jump here. And it's possible that you can't disable these things. I'm going to do a quick search though. And sometimes in these newer quests you get tougher DC requirements for traps. And if there it is. So yeah, our spot didn't detect it, but our search did. And again, it seems like in newer quests we're having that problem where sometimes the spot's not detecting it. But in older quests we don't have issues at all. And that's because they've added a lot of things to the game, like such as skill tomes which we don't have, ability tomes we don't have, and so once we get those things, we'll probably be spotting those. But until we get the ability tomes, the skill tomes, the other things that are other more experienced players that might have. This account is just
You spot a boy, lazy,
brand new, so it doesn't have one. And that's fine. We're still completing even difficult content. This is Lead versus Reaper, but we still got a chance, the Reaper, a really good chance. Going from here to Reaper 1 only gives you a 1% more chance.
You've found a book that
of
can be
completing.
used in the speech.
This is not the one we want. When you get that sort of like can be used, so I try not to pick those up. So we don't want the math book. Remember that.
You've found one of the books for the speech. All the books in the South Wing have been found.
Yeah, I try to not pick those up because I just accidentally start a fight if I use those book in the speech. So too bad I can't delete those out of my inventory, but we'll just remember, don't use the math book. It's the joke book. All right, so one more wing to go. It's going to be this western wing. High priority to get these shelf memories down. I don't know why the hirelings wasn't. I guess the hireling was maybe getting harassed by the books.
Several figures bustle around this lofty reading room. Students or researchers, perhaps.
All right, so we just have to look around. These could be in different places. Sometimes they're here, so it's a little bit easier. But this is not the book, so we don't want to pick that one up. I mean, we can for the optional, but so we're going to need to go up and find it. This is pretty straightforward. You just fight your way through stuff. More of these shelved memories. More shelved memories. I don't think this is the book, actually. So did we miss it? I thought it was the memoirs related to something arcane. Maybe it is. Let me check.
You've found one of the
is.
books for the speech. You've collected enough books to begin giving the speech.
All right, let's grab these things. And I don't think we'll have a problem on Elite, but let me let's figure out which shrine we want to use as our sort of you know, and this is kind of more important on Elite. This is probably the closest shrine, so this would be if things get hairy, although I don't know if things could respawn in here. I think the other one's actually better, but we're going to use this shrine for shrining purposes now. And if it was on Reaper and we, you know, encountered like the triple Reaper wave and we're worried we might die, we just, you know, run on the map kind of in this direction here. Then we could run back here and do a raise ourselves if we have to. That's sort of the, since you can't restart or re-enter Reaper, that's sort of the backup plan in Reaper. But we're not in Reaper mode, so. All right, gonna rebuff. Oh, my hireling did not rust. Yeah, I've been having that problem more and more. I've been pointing to the shrine and the hireling acts like it's going to shrine, it doesn't. And so I need to make sure before I leave the shrine that my hireling actually shrined. Pretty sure I could self-heal my way through this one. You can see it's, she says, I'm obliged, but then didn't do it.
Prompted by your actions inside his memory, Terrant Hawksworth clears his throat and begins to speak. The audience chuckles happily at a well-worn but still entertaining joke. Thus, suddenly appears before you. Terrant's rival is determined to stop the wizard from delivering his speech. The renowned wizard explains the core idea of his speech, a bold but practical plan to use the arcade heart to better the lives
Even for even for melee, they can be annoying, but a little easier to hit than a range for sure. All right, I think. Fundamentals of magic looks like one.
Terrant delivers a brief but enlightening summary of the fundamental principles of magic as career.
That champion that was there. And now I got to figure out.
One of the members of the audience nods off as Terrant inexplicably recites the multiplication table.
I think this is what I didn't need. Oh well, no big deal. Not a huge issue.
The guest of driven the intruder out of the wizard's mind. No longer restricted by fast arcana spell, Terrant is able to bring his speech to a rousing conclusion. The whole strange incident is now just another memory for his collection.
I'm thinking we could have probably done that one on Reaper one. I think I will next time around. So this is a nice item: intelligence +4, insightful intelligence +1, wizardry 79. All good stuff. Right now we are using more of a defensive type hat, but maybe this is one I'll probably save for next life, just because intelligence does matter for us, and wizardry matters for us. So um, and reflex save is always good. So I'll probably save that. So worth running the quest just to get that item, even though we didn't run it on Reaper. And that is Memory Lapse on Elite. We'll see what we get for the end reward, and then there's just one more quest at this level to complete. This is actually really nice for a. This is actually a really nice item for a dual wielding crossbow. It requires getting the tree, but I think I'm going to take this. Anarchic and adamantine, so that would also work against Maroots. So that's likely to sell for many reasons. So I'm gonna, when my current auction's off, I'm gonna sell that one. So that is Memory Lapse on Elite.